Hey guys, I'm Chanda, Rigby of Troy University. I have Fortuna here on my right and I have Zay on my left. And they were two strong post players for us today. So thankful to get this win. I don't know if anybody in the tournament knows more than I do of how hard it is to get this first win. We've won them before and we've come up short before. But we are so thankful to get this win against a very hot team, maybe the hottest team that we've seen. This team did amazing things. I thought probably people are going to ask me, do you think they ran out of steam? Yeah, I do. They've done an amazing job, and our team did an amazing job pressuring them and putting pressure on them to try to get any energy they had left out of them with the press, but also with our fast break. I think that I kept telling my team that I think that they had answers for our guards. They could guard our guards. They had answers for our guard, but I don't think they had answers for our post players and the depth of our post players. And in the second half, when we started looking for them more, going inside, I think that changed the game a lot. All of our players played today and contributed, so that's a good feeling, opening up the tournament that way. And yes, are there any questions?
Yeah, we'll open up for questions. Go ahead, Paul.
Hey, Paul. Thank you.
This is the standard. I mean, I know there's been the last couple tournaments for you, disappointment, with the finishes in one year. But the way they played today, this is what you expect from the team.
Yes. Again, I never want to take for granted a win in the Sun Belt tournament. Like you said, we have come up short, and I'm so proud of this group for kind of breaking that trend that had happened there for a while. But again, when that happens, you never take anything for granted. Like all day, right up to the time of game time, just imagining every scenario that could happen. And these players were in tune for it too. They want to represent Troy with a win. So glad they did today.
Okay, down in front.
Hey, Craig Stevenson, AL.com. Coach, I know you talked about rebounding all year, but 62 in a postseason game. How do you feel about that?
So first I knew of that. I did not realize that we had 62 rebounds. That's a lot. That's a lot for us. So, again, we do lead the nation in several categories in rebounding, just overall rebounds, but that might be the most we've had. It's usually a good night for us, really good night for us if we get up around 55, but 62, that's a lot. I'm really proud of this group, and for Fortuna to come off the bench and get 12, and get a double-double, get 12 rebounds. She was very determined.
Go ahead.
Josh Powell, short messenger. You talked coming in about how you talked about the positives and the negatives of all these buys. What do you feel like getting the quarterfinals kind of the sweet spot for you guys, those buys?
Well, I think it does help that we did run into a team that had won so many games and had played so many games. When you run into a fresh team that has experience winning on the floor, that's a different beast. That is such a beast altogether, right? If you look at the college playoffs this year and see what happens to the top seed, the ones that got the buys and sat out, it's hard to come together as one when a team has been made one by winning on the court before you or the game previous to you. But, we had things to overcome by playing a team that was hot, but also some advantages to playing a team that had been hot and won that many games. And since I can't really predict or force it or say where we're going to be in the tournament, and we won it, then yes, I'll say I'm glad we were the third seed.
Coach Rigby, Jack Stern from the Troy Division News. Just talking to me about Arkansas State tomorrow. Obviously, last time you played close game inside Troy's arena. What do you have to do to get the win tomorrow?
We can't let them get going on the three-point line. It's two things. It's the dribble drive into the three-point, right? And it's a different style. They play a great style of basketball. It should be a very exciting game. We played them twice already at their place. They really had a margin of win on us, and we really thought we knew how to guard the three-point line, but we learned a lot when we got home and looked at the film from it. And then we closed the gap a lot. When we got back in Trojan Arena, we really understood how it's different staying out on shooters and how to try to cool shooters off. And we didn't win that one, but we closed the gap and we learned a lot more. So this should be very interesting on this third time. We're hoping third time's a charm, but we have a very good opponent that we're going to play tomorrow.
Go ahead, right here.
Ben Greco, Pensacola News Journal. You kind of piggybacking off the tournament. How did you guys attack the week, knowing how long you guys had until you had to play
And we've done it so many ways in the past. Sometimes we come down and we spend the whole week and we come watch all the games. This time we stayed in Troy and slept in our own beds and practiced on our own court until yesterday. We even practiced yesterday, and then we drove down to watch the two teams play in the afternoon. And as far as attacking it, it was probably most stressful on my assistant coaches because the way we do it, every assistant coach has a different team in the conference, and they're scouts. And so, you have no idea who you're going to play. So we're literally, I think Coach Murphy watched 20-something hours of film on Lafayette thinking we could possibly play Lafayette, and then it's just you throw that in the garbage can and get ready for Marshall. It's just that's the way it goes. But it's tournament time. That's what everybody has to do.
In the back, Paul.
Yeah, Coach, I just want to follow up with Arkansas State. Is that a good thing? You just played them recently then, and what happened? And you mentioned some things that you learned from, and maybe you go into this one with a little bit, a chip on your shoulder. Maybe they have all the pressure on themselves.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah. Of course, we would have liked to have won one or both of those games, but we didn't. So now we want to turn it to a positive for us. It's hard to beat a good team 3 times. So we want to turn that into a positive. No matter what we're dealt, no matter what hand we're dealt right now, we want to turn everything to a positive. So I'll leave the statement with that. It's hard to beat a good team 3 times.
Go ahead in the back.
Steve Morehouse, WSAZ from Huntington. For both players, you knew that the first half they didn't really show fatigue. Did you figure if you just kept pounding and putting pressure that the fatigue would kind of wear them down?
Yes, it was an emphasis in the locker room. They were saying they can't keep up with us. That's not really how they want to play. So our pace is fast, and if we kept playing our game, fatigue would play into them slowing down and them not being able to keep up with us. And I think it worked out in the long run.
So in the previous game, we have not really been playing with the post inside. So I feel like it has been very effective going inside because going inside makes the shooters free. But yeah, it was good.
Any final questions? Go ahead.
Coach, you talk about the defense too with, that press that Marshall seemed to have a tough time, at least at first breaking, but again, maybe breaking down a little bit. What is it about the team's press and that energetic defense?
I'm proud of the team for keeping up our effort on the press because we only turned them over 9 times. Credit to them. But even though we only turned them over 9 times, they were having to work really hard to get the ball up the court. And that's what we want for shooters in the fourth quarter to have used their legs to work very hard for 3 quarters of the game. So.
Question for Zay and Fortuna. It seemed like every basket that was made, the bench was jumping up and down. Can you just talk about the camaraderie of this team?
Every point means something, especially right now. We want to go far, so we say everybody plays a part into us winning. If you're on the bench, if you're on the court, if you're a manager, all of that. So I think we know that energy from the bench plays a big part into how we play.
Also, Coach right here, she talks about oneness, togetherness. So, being together really, how can I say, increases our energy. And then, the bench being just, wow, it gives us energy on the court to keep going.
That's right.
And Coach, you told me after a game this past few weeks that you couldn't pick out a single MVP from the team because everybody's had such huge performances, whether it be Fortuna tonight with a double-double, Zay's performance, back-to-back Summer Player of the Week, Wag having the first triple-double in program history, or actually having those big games against SEC teams. Just talk to me how important it is to have this depth in a tournament.
It comes in handy to have depth in a tournament. It comes in very handy to have depth, period. But in a tournament, it's even more important. There's no days off. We have much less than 24 hours to turn around and play again. And, just like tonight, it was people off our bench that came in and sealed the deal for us. And that is a great luxury to have.
Coach, I asked you the same question last year, but probably from a different seat, but being back in Pensacola for you and a little bit of a different feeling this time that you're able to stay at least one more day. Just how does it feel to be back in Pensacola?
Feels like a big hug. It feels like a big hug. I'm so happy to be in Pensacola. My family was here today. I raised my boys here. They're friends from back when we were here. I think they all ran the McGuire's run this morning, really loving Pensacola and experiencing what it has to offer. And then they all showed up at the game and cheered for us. Pastor Ted Traylor was here from Olive Church, my pastor from there. So many people from back who made this home for us. Still feel like family. We're here in Pensacola to support me today.